The Louis Vuitton Cherry Collection is back after 20 years, but is it better than the original? Today I'm taking you inside the highly anticipated Louis Vuitton Takashi Murakami 2025 re-edition collection. This third installment features over 100 iconic cherry adorned pieces. I've got the exclusive high-res images right here, and let me tell you, some of these pieces are absolutely incredible and others left me genuinely surprised. Stick around because I'll be sharing my top must-haves, wish list picks, and honestly, a few pieces I didn't expect at all. Trust me, you are gonna wanna see everything. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and my YouTube channel is Rachel Went Shopping. I cannot believe we are finally here discussing the third part of the Murakami re-edition, the Cherry Collection. I am so pumped and so excited to go over these pieces with you. I want to start with a really brief history because this ties in perfectly to discussing some of the printing techniques we are seeing on this new collection before we dive into all of the individual pieces. The Louis Vuitton Takashi Murakami Cherry Collection, or Cherries or Cerise, originally came out in spring-summer 2005. So this is actually a 20th anniversary 20 years later in 2025. So the original collection actually featured 3 different cherry placements across all of the bags and accessories. 2 of them were double cherries, 1 of them was a single cherry, and the cherries featured 3 different attitudes. They were laughter, surprise, and amazement. I've got a small selection of pieces here from the vintage collection that I want to show you so you can see an example. This is what the single placement looked like, which is also featured on the highly desirable Speedy 25. So you can see that we've got what I believe is the surprise face, which is the mouth open, and then the other one is either laughter or amazement. It's hard to depict the difference between laughter and amazement on a cherry's facial expression. This is the other one, so you can see this one features the same face. And this is a double cherry. And then on some of the other bags, like the Sac Plat, and I believe the Keep All, this double cherry features the surprise, and then the other smiling one, which again is either laughter or amazement. So there you can see the difference of all 3 of the cherries' attitudes. So the re-edition collection features a single placement. It's only the double cherry, and it is closest to this one, which features the surprise and then the other happy one. The original screen printing technique used by Louis Vuitton is called serigraphy. So the original collection used 6 screens and 15 pigments to achieve this precise coloration. It also used a technique from the ceramics industry never before used on leather goods to achieve the gradation that you see in the colors there to give it that juicy look. And the screen printing technique really makes each piece one of a kind and a true piece of art, which is why I love it, even though it has the tendency to rub off if used improperly. I still love the fact that it makes every piece unique. Now for the new collection, something that I noticed instantly was how the cherries were printed on the canvas look slightly 3-dimensional, and I'll try to show you on screen using some photos. But then more recently, a client advisor actually posted on Reddit some of the information that they are sharing with client advisors about the printing technique on the 2025 re-edition. So it says that it's using 7 layers of screen printing, creating a unique depth and texture, so you can see that it is slightly raised. And then there is one final transparent layer that adds a luscious sheen, capturing that juicy look and feel. And I will show you, particularly on one of the pictures of the Alma, you could see the sheen over top that really made it look juicy. I am very interested to see how this new technique is going to wear over time, and we'll talk about some of my concerns around that on some of the specific pieces. The other new renditions we are seeing in this updated collection and new technique is the embroidered denim. So when we saw the lookbook images back in January, you couldn't really tell if it was printed or embroidered. Personally, I hoped that it would be embroidered because that would make it look more expensive because there's a lot going on with the denim. But we now have information again from this client advisor that posted this information on Reddit that Every cherry features 2,700 embroidery stitches, more than 18 hours of manual stitch-by-stitch programming of a complex embroidery machine to achieve the perfect cherry. And then in particular, it mentions that the Keepall 45 requires 14 hours and nearly 140,000 embroidery stitches. So you'll see that the embroidery technique factors into the very high price point of some of these pieces. The other new rendition we saw in this collection is a white cherry print on Louis Vuitton's white monogram, which is very similar to Coach's white cherry that came out a couple of years ago. So we'll talk about that more when we jump into the lookbook. Personally, I have found the updated printing techniques to be very interesting on these reedition collections because I am very attached to the way that these were originally printed. I really think it speaks to the artistic nature of this collaboration. And I was very worried in how they would do the new techniques in the modern age, especially because of customer complaints over time with loss of the prints after use, after wear and tear, etc. But changing the techniques can sometimes lose the artistic nature of it. So it'll be interesting again to see how these new pieces wear over time. And I think I have to do a whole separate video going into the printing techniques and my opinions on that. But let's jump into the cherry lookbook. So I was lucky enough to get some early line sheets, very blurry images of all three of the collections way back in January when the multicolor collection first came out. And I was very excited about several of the pieces. I actually have my initial wish list written down from way back in January that we're going to compare and contrast how that has changed over time. But honestly, those blurry images don't do the collection justice, and seeing these high-res images has got me very excited. And we've also seen some very interesting new additions that were not in those original lookbooks. My first impressions though were I was very excited about this collection, and when it came to laying out my budget for the 3 parts, I had allocated the most for the first part, the multicolor. The second most of my budget was going towards cherry, and the least was going towards cherry blossom. And that seems to be the way that it is going to iron out in the end here. All right, now let's jump into the lookbook. I'm gonna try to go by category to make it a little easier. I'll pop pictures or videos up on the screen, and I'll move fast through some things and talk a little bit more in depth about things that I'm really interested in. I'll try to cover as much as possible. Sorry if I miss a few things. I will be looking down at my phone or my laptop potentially for pricing, and so that I can look at some of the details as we talk through it. So apologies, I don't mean to be rude. Let's start with some of the hard-sided pieces. So first you've got the mini square trunk in the cherry. That is 9,000 euro. I don't have the US price yet. I think this is really cute. I've sort of mentioned this in my cherry blossom video before, that obviously I love these pieces, but it would take up such a big chunk of my budget that I'm not ready to commit yet. But if you are a collector and if you have the funds, I love these little hard-sided pieces with the handle. In this particular collection, I love the jewelry case trunk. I don't know how to pronounce it in French, apologies. It's a decent size piece with a lot of jewelry organization, and I think with these special Murakami collaborations, these are really collectible trunks, and to have something like this sitting on your dresser or in your collection would be an incredible piece. So I love this jewelry case. I loved the cherry blossom small one as well. So I think, again, if you have the funds, great. I'll also mention the capucines that comes with the trunk for 48,000 euro. This one, it's actually not one of my favorite of the capucine bags. I don't really love all of the mixture of the materials with the raffia, with the exotic. I love the 3-dimensional crystal Murakami cherries, but there's way too much going on here. I do think it's interesting that you get the white monogram trunk with it, but for 48,000, honestly, I'd rather go for some of the other hard-sided pieces because I do not think this bag is that good looking. Just my personal opinion. We also got a fragrance in this collection. It is the Spell on You again, similar to the Cherry Blossom, and honestly, I was disappointed. If you watch my Cherry Blossom wishlist video, I am not a fan of Spell on You as a fragrance. It's not something that I would wear. As much as I'd love to collect that bottle, I'm not going to buy it because I'm not going to buy something that I'm not going to wear. I really wish they would have done a different fragrance for this release. But if you love that fragrance, this is a very cute collectible bottle. I also think the travel case for the perfume is a great little accessory or decor piece to have on your vanity or your dresser. It's $990 USD. It's up there in price, but if you're looking for something that kind of has those hard-sided touches and can be used as decor, I love the little perfume travel cases. Let's talk about some of these home accessories that I was the most shocked by because they were not in the original lookbook images that we saw back in January. So these were brand new, unexpected pieces. There is a bicycle for $32,000 US. It comes in two sizes, an MM and a GM. They look exactly the same. They're just different sizes. Same price, $32,000. I do think a lot of the intricate details are very cool here, like the pedals. There's logos on the pedals. There's the flower shape within the gears. It's very cool, very unique for a collector, probably something you would lean against your wall in your house as an art piece. Then we saw a lot of homeware. So there is the teapot, which retails for $790, set of 2 teacups for $545 US, set of 2 coffee cups for $485, the mug for $215, and then the 2 dessert plates for $345. These are interesting. I think they can be perceived as a little bit of like a merchy cash grab for some people, but also very collectible for others, especially us Murakami collectors. I love these. I wish I could get a piece. Honestly, I'm going back and forth on the mug on my wish list, but I'm really like, do I really want to spend $215 on a mug? Because there's so many other things on my list. Would I rather have the mug or the silk? It's something I'm debating, honestly. For now, I don't have any of these items on my wish list, but I think they are interesting, unique, and 20 years down the line, they could be very collectible. Something I find very interesting though is the deck chair and the price of the deck chair. So the deck chair is 1,500 euro, 1820 US dollars. Why does that seem insanely cheap for a Louis Vuitton piece of furniture? And I'm saying that sounds very jaded, but the Louis Vuitton furniture and home products are very expensive. So $1,800 for a chair, honestly, I am tempted, but I have nowhere to put it. So I'm not going to spend that kind of money for something that's going to like sit in my basement until I eventually have a pool that I could set them at. But I do think that this will be very collectible. If you do have the money lying around, it could be an interesting piece. You could carry these chairs to the beach, but I would be a little worried about people trying to like rob them from you or something. So I don't know. I won't be investing in any of these pieces, but I found them very interesting. One other giftable that was a total surprise was the fan. This retails for $545 US. I love a fan like this to carry in your bag if you're going to like a hot spring summer wedding, but I also keep one of these fans on my vanity. I have a vintage Christian Dior one that I keep on my vanity with my skincare, and in between each step of my skincare, I open my fan and I kind of help it dry down. So I love having one of these fans lying around, not just for my skincare, but also you could carry it as a fun little accessory for, like I said, a summer wedding or such. So I thought this was very interesting. Again, as much as I'd love to own this and I think it's a collectible piece, I have to make cuts. I don't think I'm going to be able to add this to my list, but I do think it's a really cute idea. The most affordable item in this collection is the Jane notebook. This retails for $110 US. It is not reusable. You use it once, it's one and done. It does not include any Louis Vuitton canvas. It is just a paper notebook. But if you're looking for the most affordable item in this collection, it is the Jane notebook. I do want to mention the one piece of luggage, well, aside from keep-alls and such, but the Horizon 55 is also available in this cherry collection. It's cute. I like the Horizon 55. They are pricey. The Horizon 55 in the cherry collection is $550. If I were looking though at all 3 parts, I have to say my favorite Horizon 55 of all reeditions is the black multicolor. Why? Because it doesn't include vachetta, therefore, in my opinion, making it the most actually functional for travel. If I had to pick my favorite of the hard-sided trunk suitcases, I definitely would say the cherry blossom, because again, for some reason that cherry blossom print really lends itself to that trunk suitcase. I don't know, I just really liked it. So for me, the cherry Horizon is a pass. in this collection, but if the cherry is your favorite print and you want a piece of luggage, that might be the piece for you. Let's talk about the silks. So in the silks for this collection, we have three main colorways. There is the white, the brown classic monogram, and then there is the denim, which is a denim print. It's not actually denim, so it's a blue denim print. Again, all of these featuring the cherries. I personally am having a very hard time deciding which items I want on my wish list across these colorways. I want them all, but I can't have them all. So I would appreciate your help in the comments when I do end up going through my wish list. The bandeau is available in all three colorways. You've got the white, the brown, and the denim. I will say I kind of want the bandeau in all three. If I were to get all three of one of them, that's probably going to be the one. Like I said, I'm having a very tough time choosing. If I'm being rational, I would say the brown and the denim are the most realistic because the white can get dirty, especially if you're using it to wrap around your handles and you're touching it constantly. The white is more likely to get dirty. So realistically, if I have to make a cut, I would go for the brown and the denim. The bandeau is 100% silk. The Car 90 scarf is also 100% silk in this case, and that also comes in the brown, the white, and the denim. This is the one that I'm really struggling with. Again, I gravitate away from white because I'm very nervous about white getting dirty, but I do think the white is very wearable in this case. I do have the vintage white bandana here. This is what it looks like, and it's very cute, but I am thinking that the white silk 90 would make a really cute top. So again, I'm really struggling here. For me, for the large silk, it's between the brown and the white, and or whether or not I get both. I don't like the denim print as much for the silk 90 because I think it makes more sense for the shawl, and we will talk about that. So right now I'm going back and forth on the Car 90 whether I get the brown or the white. There is one bandana, as far as I can see, it is just the brown in the size 55, retails for $255 US. I believe I've made the decision that I'm skipping that because I have the vintage one, and I do think I could collect the vintage brown version of that. I'm gonna focus more on the bandeaus and the larger silk scarves for this collection, but there is one available. Then we also have the shawl in the blue and the white, and I honestly love the shawl. I think it's because it's so large, it's very wearable. They show the shawl in one of the model images as like a sarong with one of the bathing suits, and I think it looks really cute in the white, but I also think it's very nice in the blue denim as a scarf in that more casual material. It says that it's 100% wool. Personally, I'm very drawn to the blue. However, the retail is $995. And I don't know if I'm willing to spend that much right now. So as much as I like it, it's not one of the top items, but I'm very tempted by the shawls. So you'll have to wait and see if one of them ends up showing up. The set of scrunchies is $425 US. I personally am not spending that on scrunchies, but they're very cute if you can afford it. Let's jump into the bags, and then we'll quickly do the SLGs and accessories afterwards. So I'm gonna talk about the bags grouped by material and colorway. So first up, let's look at the brown monogram cherry pieces. What might be the #1 most desirable piece in this collection? Everybody has been asking about the Speedy. They are remaking the brown Speedy from the original collection in this collection in the size 20. In the original collection, it features the single cherry print, and in the new collection, it is going to be featuring the double cherry print. Lots of people have comments about the double cherry print and not liking how big it is and the size of it, and really preferring that smaller single cherry print. Personally, I like loud, eclectic, tacky, so I don't mind the large double cherry print itself. I love that it's the 20. I don't have a 20 in my collection, and I love that the 20 zips down the side for functionality. It does come with the removable, and we'll have to wait and see if it's adjustable strap. One thing I did find interesting was that the interior of this bag, it's red, which I think all assumed it would be, but it appears to be the cotton canvas material, not microfiber, which is what we saw on the interior of most of the other bags in this collection. So I found that interesting. I really want this bag. However, I want the vintage Speedy more. And I have lots of regrets on opportunities I've had to buy the vintage bag that I was just being stingy and wanting to pay less. And now I'm going to get screwed because I'm going to end up paying double what I probably could have gotten it for. But for that reason, I'm not putting the Speedy at the top of my wish list. If I had an unlimited budget, I would still add this one because I'm looking to add a 20 to my collection and this would be the perfect one. But I'm going to prioritize those dollars towards eventually adding the vintage Cherry Speedy at this time. So now let's talk about the side trunk. The side trunk has been at the top of my wish list for the Cherry collection since I first saw the line sheets in January. I love the side trunk. I've wanted the side trunk since it first walked the runway. I have just been waiting for the perfect eclectic collaboration side trunk to release. I didn't want to get the basic monogram or one of the more simple colorways. I knew eventually there would be one. I loved the multicolor one and I probably would have added multicolor, except they did it in the white with the white trim and I just don't gravitate towards white bags. So when I saw they were doing it in the cherry print, I said, this is my bag. It is the modern sort of, I feel like the Speedy is probably the standout bag from the original collection. And I feel like this is like a modern updated Speedy. I love the side trunk. I knew that it was going to be expensive because the side trunk is already expensive, but I love that the bag lends itself to the history of trunk making, the history of Louis Vuitton, but in a functional bag. Now, I will tell you, my two biggest concerns about this bag are obviously the price point. It's $5,000 US. Crazy, but also the new printing technique, which we went over at the beginning of the video. I'm very curious. You can see in like the image on the pre-order website where it bends on the side trunk. We don't know if the new screen printing technique is built to withstand how malleable the side trunk canvas needs to be. I trust that Louis Vuitton canvas is malleable enough to crease in the middle like that, to have that scrunchy side trunk shape, but we don't know if that screen print is going to survive the test of time or not. So I do think that is a risk with the side trunk. However, this is still the top bag on my wish list. Let's talk about the Nano Alma, guys. You guys know my story about my Alma. I don't have an Alma in my collection yet. I'm looking for the perfect one. This Nano Alma in the cherry, to me, is a sleeper hit. Maybe it's not a sleeper. Maybe you guys all want it. But to me, I feel like this Nano bag is going to be what the mini Speedy HL multicolor is today. Like one of the most coveted collectible pieces from the original collection. I feel like, you know, 10, 20 years from now, this little mini Nano Alma with the large cherry on it is going to be a very desirable collectible piece. It is probably my third top bag. Therefore, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to get it. I wish I could. I really want it. This would be another perfect Alma for my collection. The other thing I love about the Nano, which I'm pretty sure, even though we cannot see in the photos, I'm pretty sure while it has the vachetta trim on the bottom, it's not completely on the bottom. When I look at the pictures of the other Nano Alma in the classic canvas, the bottom is canvas and it just has that trim around the bottom, which again makes me feel better about the amount of vachetta on this bag. The other thing is you can see that the strap is removable and adjustable. One of the biggest reasons why I'm second guessing the Cherry Blossom Alma is because that strap is not adjustable and I like the option to wear crossbody. So again, I'm really loving this Nano Alma and it's on my top 3. I just don't know if I can get 3 bags from this collection because of the price point. And that bag is going to be $2,300 USD, which in the grand scheme of the rest of the bags is not that bad, but this is a tiny bag. Next, let's talk about the Neverfull. I love this. I love the idea of this. We don't have photos of the interior or the pouch yet, but that's going to be a very desirable pouch. I'm assuming the interior is the red canvas. I think this was a great idea. I think this is a very collectible piece. If you are a cherry lover and you have the original Cherry Speedy, you've got to add the Neverfull to your collection. I am not going to because I already got a Murakami Neverfull, the Empreinte one, And again, I can't buy all the bags. If I could buy everything I wanted, I would probably add this, but I can't. I love this though. The retail price is pretty steep at 3,300 USD. If you love a Neverfull, I highly recommend going for a limited edition, you know, exclusive variation versus just the classic monogram colorway. So this is definitely a must-have, in my opinion, for any collector. Next up, you've got the mini bum bag. I think the mini bum bag is cute. I don't feel like I need one. I have the Rush bum bag in my collection. I like that it just has the simple little single cherry on it. Let me look at the price. It's 2,300 USD. I like streetwear style. Even with the outfit I'm wearing today, I think this bag could look really cute. So I think this is a great bag if you're looking for a bum bag. The Keep All 45 in the brown monogram cherry is 4,900. This is a great bag. Personally, I would rather have the vintage one, but if you're not into vintage and used products, then I do love the cherry print. I think this is also a very gender neutral bag, so a lot of men are going to be interested in this bag too. I mean, all bags are gender neutral. Do what makes you happy, but I think that a lot of like the hypebeast guys are going to want this Keep All. Let's talk about this on the go in the see-through crystal monogram, they're calling it, which also comes with a pouch, which is cute. I like the idea of this, and you guys know that I like tacky shit, so I'm not opposed to the see-through nature of this bag. However, this is what I'm gonna say about this is the see-through nature of it makes it a beach bag or a vacation bag. I'm not taking a bag with vachetta to the beach because you are then at risk of water getting on it, water spots, etc. So as much as I like this, I don't see wearing it outside of the beach vacation vibe very much, and especially because of the size of it. Therefore, this one is tough for me because it is completely lined down the sides with vachetta. So I would definitely treat something like that, but I think it's a risk, therefore not for me. But personally, I love PVC plastic bags. A lot of people don't like them. I like them. I think it's really cool and cute. So if you can get over the vachetta piece, then it might be a cool piece. Now let's talk about the white monogram. A lot of people are comparing the white monogram to the Coach collection, and I have to admit it does remind me of that collection. You guys know I don't buy white bags. If I am going to buy it, I'm going to buy it from a lesser priced contemporary brand like Coach. I think this was a very cute, adorable style. I am not a big fan of the white cherry print from Louis Vuitton, mainly because I don't buy white bags, but I just much prefer in this collection the brown and the denim, so none of the white bags have caught my eye. The Pochette Matisse is 3,500 USD. The Alma BB is 2,870 USD. I think this is interesting. Of all of them, this would probably be one of my top two, but again, I'm just not gravitating towards the white, so this is not the perfect Alma for me. The Wallet on Chain Ivy is 2,300. And then the Speedy Soft Bandolier 30 is 4,950. I am loving my Soft Speedy. So if that is what you're questioning, like if you love the white monogram and you're questioning the Soft Speedy, I love that bag. The fact that they put the denim on the interior, love it. Such a great idea. I think that is amazing. So if you like white bags, you're loving this white cherry print. I honestly, my top bag from the white cherry is the Speedy, Soft Speedy. If you can make that work in your wardrobe, that is a great bag. And my second favorite, I would say, would be that Alma BB. Again, none of the white monogram pieces are going to be on my wish list. Okay, we have to talk about the monogram denim. When I originally saw the line sheets, I was a little unsure about it, right? But if you guys know, I love a freaky little bag, and this definitely classifies in freaky bag territory because it's kind of tacky. When I originally saw it, I imagined it being printed and not looking very good, but was hoping that it would be embroidered. And as we now know, it is embroidered, which to me elevates the whole thing, and I love it. 2,700 stitches of embroidery per cherry sold. You've convinced me. I do not, however, love the price tag. The price tag is insane, and that is, we're assuming because of the embroidery, but you really need to love this freaky denim cherry print in order to invest in it. So I'm very curious to hear what other people's point of views are on the denim. I'm sure you guys can guess which bag I'm leaning towards, but I think the Sunset is great in the denim print. For $35.50, it's very pricey, but it's got that slouchy Y2K vibe, so I can get on board with that. The Venice backpack, adorable in the denim. This is, if I were to get a Venice backpack, this would be the vibe. I love it in the denim, 4,350 USD, very pricey. And I don't personally do designer backpacks. I do love the idea of this style though. The Neverfull Inside Out BB. When I originally saw the red trim, I was hesitant. I actually prefer the vachetta in this case, but I do like this little Neverfull BB. I like how the red stands out when it's on the reverse side, and then I think it makes sense in this really small bag. The Keep All Bandolier 45 in this print is $6,150. That is insane. That is a crazy price. Again, it's because of the embroidery. I can see men, a lot of like the hypebeast community, loving this Keep All. It's not something I will be investing in at that price. The Kusan in this print, I love the Kusan. I still have my Kusan bag, very functional bag, $49.50 USD in this material. I don't like it. This material on this bag does not make sense to me. I didn't like it in any of the other denim variations. I don't really like it here. Personally, just they don't mesh together. The Soft Speedy with the crocodile trim, very interesting. 9,000 euro. I think it's like 11,000 something USD. That's crazy. I think I would go for the white one over this. I wish that they didn't do the red trim on this one. If they had done the vachetta, I think I would have liked it more in the Soft Speedy here. I personally was not a huge fan of the red trim. I know a lot of people did like it though. I'm saving the best for last though. The Pochette Accessoire is the #2 bag on my wish list. I love it. I love that it is freaky and weird and unique with the denim cherry. I do not like the price. $2,810 makes this, I believe, the most expensive pochette accessoire in Louis Vuitton history, excluding anything fur or exotic. That's a crazy price for a pochette. However, as a pochette collector, I definitely am looking to add this to my collection. When I look at all of the re-edition pochettes, the 2 multicolor, the cherry blossom, the panda, and the denim, I feel like I've made the perfect selection to add to my collection. I didn't need the multicolor or the cherry blossom because they're so close to the original. In my opinion, the panda and this cherry one are the most unique of the re-edition pieces. So those are the 2 that I would love to add to my already 10-piece pochette collection, and I will be trying very hard to get this, even though this price hurts my stomach. Really quickly, let's look at the Capucine bags. My 2 favorites are the white with the red cherries. I think this is adorable. I love how the double cherry is hanging over the LV. If I wore white bags, this would actually, it would look cute with what I'm wearing today, honestly. I love the all over print. The cherries look shiny and juicy, like they use the special technique, but I really love how the cherries are hanging off of that LV like that. The black one with the chain is kind of just boring, but again, if you're looking for a non-tacky piece, the ostrich one, sure, it's fine. I think the red, again, with the simple cherry hanging off the LV, that red looks super, it looks like the perfect red in my opinion. So if I was in the market for one, I do love the red. That's probably my 3rd favorite. Tied for the top 2 is definitely the rattan wicker Capucine mini, which I am hearing is 6,750 USD, which is an insane price, insane value in my opinion. You get the touch of red, the touch of denim with the embroidered cherries, and then you get this cool wicker rattan piece for such a great price. I wonder if that price is a mistake, but my top 2 Capucines are definitely the wicker one and then the white one. 3rd favorite is definitely the red one. The very expensive one that comes with the trunk, I do not like that one aesthetically. I don't think it's cute. I think the twist bags are really cute. I'm not personally like a huge twist fan. It's a little too, I don't know, elegant for me, but if I were to buy a twist, I feel like this would be the one. Honestly, I like both colorways. Somehow they're simple, with the cherries, and they don't look maybe as tacky as some of the other bags because they are leather and they don't have the monogram in the background. So I do think these are really cute. Okay, really quickly, let's go through the SLGs. My top SLGs are the passport cover, which has been on my wish list from the beginning, 555 USD. I did not add either of the multicolor pieces because I didn't want to buy a ton of passport covers. I am looking to add the cherry one. I think this is great dual purpose passport holder or credit card receipt holder if you're someone that collects receipts like I do. Very interested in this. Brand new, shocking, not on the first line sheets, is the cosmetic pouch for 1,000 US dollars, which is insane. I want it though, even though the price is dumb. I did not know that there was going to be a cosmetic pouch in this collection. Had I known, I might not have gotten the Epi Cherry Blossom one, which I do still love, but in my opinion, the classic monogram canvas is way more usable because the canvas is so durable. So I'm definitely looking to add this one to my collection. Also new, that was not seen before, is the toiletry pouch. I'm not going to add that. I think it's interesting. You know, a lot of people collect the toiletry pouches. What I don't like about it though is that it has the vachetta trim on the side, but that is a cute add and something you could wear as a clutch if you're looking to add a smaller piece to this collection. There is no card case, but I love the Lisa wallet. And I think for men who are hoping for a card case, your best options are going to be either the passport cover or the Lisa wallet. I don't think I'm gonna have enough budget to add the Lisa wallet, but it's like, you know, on the second tier of my list there. I would like to add it if I had an unlimited budget. You got the sunglass pouch in brown monogram, the zippy wallet in white monogram, and then the zippy wallet in denim. I don't go for the longer wallets. If I were to choose one though, I do like the denim one. Oh, we also have the cosmetic pouch GM in the denim. That could be a cool oversized clutch. Personally, I like the idea of these, but if it's gonna be cosmetics, I'm looking for that wipeable interior. The micro denim Speedy is 1,040 US dollars. I think that's an adorable little accessory. I think the Capucine wallets are nice, elegant if you're looking for something like that. I don't usually buy those pieces. And then the key pouch, $650 for a denim key pouch with cherries on it. So insane, but it's definitely on my wish list. If you guys know, I bought the denim key pouch from the denim collection, and now I'm like, okay, I want the cherry denim key pouch and I don't need both. So I'm probably gonna look to sell my denim one if I'm able to get this cherry denim one, because I think it would be unnecessary to have both, but I love the fact that they did it in the denim. This is a very collectible piece from the original collection. I almost like that they didn't redo it and that they did it in such a unique way. And you guys know for these re-edition collections, I don't want it to compete as much with the original vintage because in my opinion, those pieces are more important. But I like when they do it in a very updated way. So in this case, I'm loving the denim key pouch with the cherries, and I definitely want to try to get my hands on it. All right, really quickly, the accessories. The hats are cute, but I'm not interested. $960 for the raffia one, $1,030 for the denim one. I do like the denim one, very cute. The bracelets are very cute. I kind of like the denim braided one, but they're both cute. The cherry bag chain is interesting, but between the cherry one and the cherry blossom one, I like the cherry blossom one more. I would still rather track that one down than add the cherry one, so I'm gonna skip that. However, the cherry bag charm, cerise bag charm, 670 USD, but I have to have it. Seeing the picture of the size of it on the bag, on the model, oh my God, I love it. It looks so freaking cute. One thing I will say is, so you can see that it's two green leather pieces of it hanging, but the cherries are not connected. And I'm interested to see how they potentially bang against each other if they make noise, depending on what material they're made out of. But it looks large, like the size of the charm. I must have that. I really hope I can get my hands on it. Honestly, $670, while high, I expected it to be more considering this charm was $830. So I'm definitely looking to add that on my wish list. The mini mirror bag chain I think is really cool if you're looking for like to not spend that much but you want a little piece. I like the idea that it's a mirror hanging off your bag. I think that's cute. I don't care about the denim fold holder, the drag on. I don't really buy those kinds of things, or the magnetic card pouch. I'd rather buy a wallet or a card case. I think the mini cube is cute. However, I have the same vachetta concerns that I have about the bag on that one. And I will say I have the cloud cube and it is pretty bulky in size, but I do think this one is more functional for like a vacation, to clip it on your beach bag or whatever, to put your headphones in, your lip gloss, maybe like a suntan stick or something. I do think that it seems purposeful and I like it. If again, you're gonna look after that vachetta. The hair cubes for $600 is insane to me. That price is crazy. I think the necklace and the bracelet are cute. However, the number one piece that I'm interested in is the cerise earrings for $720. These have been on my wish list from the beginning. I have the Murakami Laquem ones from the collaboration they did with this Japanese costume jewelry company. My son broke these. I have to fix them. I have to glue this back in. These are the original red ones. And then I also have some of the re-edition ones. I have the black ones and then I have these ones from that collection. So when I saw that Louis Vuitton was doing like an official pair, I have to have these. They're very similar to these, except $760. I think I paid like $80 for these. They probably retailed in Japan for like $50. I really want those earrings though. That'll be the first jewelry piece from this collection that I get. So yeah, those are all of the items, majority of the items from the lookbook so far. All right, let's summarize my must-have items, what's on my wish list, and I need a little help from you guys. All right, really quickly, I want to read you my list from January. When I saw those original blurry line sheets, this was my must-have list from the Cherry collection. It was the side trunk, which I estimated the price at the time to be $4,700 US, so I was not far off. The passport, I had the Lisa wallet on there, the pochette accessoire, the key clay, the Car 90 in denim, so the silk scarf, the large size in denim, the square 55 bandana in brown, the bandeau in denim and white, the cherry charm, and the cherry earrings. So that is what I thought I wanted back in January when I was doing my initial budget planning and like estimating the prices. Now let's fast forward to today, seeing the high res images. These are my top items. My number one bag is still the side trunk MM. I think that is like the modern day Speedy of this collection. I love the callback to the heritage in trunk making. $5,000. It hurts my soul, but I think I'm gonna do it. The pochette accessoire is my number two bag. $2,810. Ugh, gross, but I'm gonna get it. The number two bag belongs in the pochette collection. I'm a little inflexible there. SLGs, I've got the passport cover and the key clay from my original wants. However, I've substituted the Lisa for the cosmetic pouch, which wasn't originally available. I just think classic brown with the single cherry. I think I'm gonna get more use out of this cosmetic pouch than the cherry blossom one, which that raises a couple of questions, but I'm still putting that on my main wish list. The cherry bag charm and the cherry earrings, that hasn't changed. Actually, the prices that I forecasted for that back in January, these prices came in a little cheaper than I expected for the bag charm and the earrings. I really hope I can get those. Very collectible for me, in my opinion. Now, the thing that I have the most questions about that I'm looking for some opinions is on the silks. I have written down that I want all three bandeaus. Again, they're just collectible over time. I want the brown, white, and the denim. I would say denim is the most unique in number one position, followed by brown, and then white just because of usability, functionality. That one's gonna get the dirtiest. For the silk 90, I wish that I could have them all, but I cannot. What color do you guys think I should get? I have written down the brown, but I'm honestly torn between the brown and the white. I could see wearing the white over top of a white t-shirt or over top of a white button-down shirt. Whereas the brown, I see more wearing that as a top, but it won't look as good over a white collared shirt. I don't love the denim in the silk. Again, I prefer it in the shawl. Let me know what colorway you prefer in the 90 silk scarf. Those are the main items on my core wish list, what I think is within reason of what I want to spend. The items outside of what I want to spend that are like, if I can squeeze them in, these are my second favorite items. They would be really the rest of the silks if I could have them, plus the shawls. Honestly, I wish I could have the denim and the white. I'm kind of torn between the two. If I could, I would like to have at least one other of the silk scarves and at least one of the shawls. And then in a dream world, I would love to add that Lisa wallet as well in replace of like a card case. I think it's a really cute little accessory. And then the 2 bags I wish I could add, but like buying 2 bags is crazy enough. Buying 4 bags is just like insane. Honestly, it's gross as much as I want them. I wish I could add the Speedy 20 and that Nano Alma as well. But again, I'm sticking with my top 2, the side trunk and the pochette accessoire. But I cannot wait to read your guys' comments on my wish list or what you're planning on getting and why. And again, everybody's personal style is different. My opinions do not matter. Buy what brings you joy. Buy what makes sense for your wardrobe. These are the things that bring me joy and make sense for how I'm going to wear them. This is probably a long video, so thank you so much for sticking it out and watching. I cannot wait to watch all of the unboxings and see what everybody picks up from this collection. Stay tuned to see what I get. I do not have any information on US pre-orders yet. Australia, Asia, Europe have gotten their pre-order information already. As of today, we do not have US pre-order information yet, and I am dying. I'm hoping we will hear something next week. It is Sunday, April 27th when I am filming this. Fingers crossed that it's slightly easier than the Cherry Blossom. If it's not, if we have to do the same online thing, you guys know my tips and tricks. Check out my video if you haven't watched it yet. But I imagine if we're doing that again, I will not be able to get all of the items on my wish list. But I'm holding out hope that I might be able to get a pre-order. The more information I get, I will update you guys with another video if I can. If not, make sure you follow me on TikTok because I make quick update videos there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel to watch hopefully a future unboxing to see what I end up getting from my wish list or if there's anything else that squeaks its way in there. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the information that I shared, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.